Good morning, Josh here at Element Sports. Here at the shop, we sell a lot of kids' bikes. We got a whole row of them down here for all sizes of kids. And with selling a lot of kids' bikes, we get a lot of questions from parents when they're buying their kid a bike. So I want to go over a couple of those questions today and run through some of the different kids' bikes. One of the biggest questions we get is, will this bike last my kid until they're all grown up? And they'll ask this for their 8-year-old, as if they're going to buy one more bike for their 8-year-old to last all the way until they're 20. Unfortunately, no. It's a pipe dream to think you're going to get your 8-year-old a bike that's going to last them until they're fully grown. Kids just grow so fast. And there are several reasons why you want your kid to be on a proper size bike. The biggest one is control. If they're on a bike that fits them properly, they'll have more control of the bike, meaning less chances of crashing, less chances of injury, and so you want them on a bike that they can fully control. A proper sized bike is going to have controls on the bike, like the brake levers, the gear shifts, the grips and stuff that are sized more appropriately for them, giving them more control. And if you put them on a bike that's way too big, all those features are going to be too big for them, and they just won't have the control. And sometimes even if they seem like they're okay on a bike going around a parking lot, if you're planning to take them to any kind of harder riding, like mountain biking or something, then that's really going to show the bike may be too cumbersome for them. So you want to get them a bike that fits them so that they have control and are safe. Also, for their enjoyment, a bike that's too big, too heavy, so it just won't be as much fun. It might have too many features than they're ready for, like gears. A lot of 6-year-olds really just aren't ready for gears. A few are, but a lot just can't really use them. They won't really use them, so they're just extra weight. It's extra things they're going to fiddle with. It's going to make it less enjoyable when they're always in too hard of a gear and can't get the bike to go, etc. So buying a bike that fits your kid is going to be more enjoyable and safer for them. So I'm going to run through some of the various bikes we have and about what ages you can expect to put them on those bikes. For the youngest kids, we have a balance bike. No pedals, so they can't even pedal bike. They just sit on it and scoot with their feet. And then they slowly learn balance as they pick up their feet, just sitting on the seat and just coast along. They're great little bikes. Wish I had them when I was a kid. We just had tricycles. But these are a great way for kids to get started on a bicycle. They'll use those usually starting from when they can walk. So for a lot of kids, they can start on them as young as maybe a year and a half, 2 years, all the way up till they're about 4 and ready for a pedal bike. Some kids might be ready for a pedal bike a little earlier, but in general, often it's around 4 years old or so for a pedal bike. And then they'll make the next step up to a 16-inch bike. So a little bigger wheel size what's on those scooter bikes, and you'll get pedals. They'll get a coaster brake, so if they're pedaling and they pedal backwards, the wheel will stop them. And a lot of them will also have a handbrake, so they can start learning how to use a handbrake. Great bikes for the next step up, usually from about 4 to about 6 or so. After that, they'll move up to a 20-inch bike. So these will usually be for kids in the 6 to 8, maybe 9 or 10 range, depending on their height. But generally around 6 to 8 or so on a 20-inch bike. And they'll have a lot of the same features as a 16-inch. Coaster brake for stopping with the foot, handbrake. Continue to learn to use a handbrake. Once you get into the 20-inch bikes, you can get some other features. You can get ones for gears. The kids seems ready for that. And if it has gears, they'll only have handbrakes and not have a coaster or foot brake. But that's the next size up. From there is the 20-inch. And then after that, they'll be ready for a 24-inch. Something like this Seamus here. So this has 24-inch tires, so a little bigger. And now they've got gears and they've got handbrakes. So it's got basically it's like a small adult bike. This will be good for someone in the 8 to 10, 12 years old. But generally about 8 to 10 for most kids at average heights. From about 8 to 10, they'll be on a 24-inch bike. And we do have various models. You can get some that are still a single speed that don't have gears, but usually by the time kids are in that 8 to 10 range, they're ready to start running gears and just using handbrakes. And so that's the next size up. From there, after a 24-inch, they'll move up to a 26-inch. They pull one out here. That 26-inch bike is going to be basically same wheel size as a lot of adult bikes, but they'll be on a extra small frame. So the frame here is made to fit their height, but the wheels, you'll find that wheel size on many adult bikes. And they'll get all the features of a full adult bike. Gears, brakes, suspension, etc. on a mountain style bike. So, you know, this size, this double extra small, 26-inch wheel bike usually work for kids in about the 14 range. And finally, once kids are in about the 14 range, some will be getting close to a bike that will last them for the rest of their life, as far as height goes. Girls usually kind of don't grow a whole lot more after 14 or so. So at 14 you get them a bike, it may last them. Boys usually grow a little bit more to the 18, 19, so even at 14 you're probably going to have to still buy them one more bike before they leave the house to keep them on a proper size bike. And so you see through a childhood, they're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more sizes of bikes. And so just want to prepare you, if you're a new parent, what to expect when it comes to the bikes. Don't shortchange your kid and try to get them, you know, one bike when they're 2 that lasts until they're 10. I mean, I get that sometimes. Parents come in with their 10-year-old and they're on the same little 16-inch bike they had when they were 4, you know, and then it's hard for the kid to adapt because I put them on a bike that's their proper size and its 3 wheel size is bigger and the bike is huge to them, and you know they're all uncomfortable riding it because they were so used to a little tiny bike. If you know, obviously buying new bikes is expensive, but we often do have used kids bikes in stock because we get a lot of trade-ins. As you move up, we take trade-in, take your bike back and give you some credit towards a new bike. And so that's a good option to take advantage of to keep your kids on a proper size bike. So we definitely encourage that. And so, yeah, just wanted to get that out there and answer a few questions about kids and how they grow and what kind of size bike they should be on. Thanks for watching. We have all the elements for your next great adventure.